you stop thinking about it and forcing a certain image, so much pretty energy can then come through. Hi, welcome into Femilescence. It's so synchronistic, ironic, and funny how the subject today is about worrying about being pretty. I was not feeling pretty looking in the mirror. I have some eczema going on, which makes it really hard for me to like even open up my eyes, and it like there's so much, it's itchy and just blah 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 blah. I could go on like just a tangent. And so I was like, I don't want to make this video because I really don't feel too pretty today and I'm really sleepy, and I was just making up excuses. It's interesting because I'm like, you're gonna let that stop you from doing something that you like and sharing a message that feels true to you. This is the exact subject that you do need to be speaking to, not only for others but for yourself. And so I always say in my work, that's part of my purpose, is to learn from my own lessons and teach others through my learnings, and I'm evolving with you. So yeah, it's like we're on this journey together, and I just had to share that because just know that it's okay if there's times where you don't feel pretty and you can still show up and be worthy, and it doesn't define you. Let's start this video with the stern title: Stop Worrying About Being Pretty. Literally, you are zapping your life force energy when not only are you tapping into the energy of worry, that fear-based energy that makes you anxious and just bugs you out, focusing on being pretty, coming from that place, it's doing the exact opposite of what you want. You have this desire to be pretty, but it's not actually coming to fruition because you're going about it the wrong way. This is a layered topic, so I could go off on so many side tangents, but I'm gonna try to keep it straightforward in what I want to convey. Your spirit and your authentic essence can naturally flow through you when you just focus on doing things that you like and just being yourself. And I know that that's such a cliche thing, and like, what does that even mean, right? I can make another video about that. It's a repeated phrase because it's accurate, and you do know how to be you, and you do know what that means. It's a very relaxed feeling. You know when you're being yourself and when things are just coming naturally. Doing what feels true to you, doing what feels good to you, that's when you're prettiest. When you immerse yourself into just living your life in a way that feels aligned to you, you're just going to radiate, and you're not even going to care about looking a certain way or being a certain way. You're not going to worry about being pretty then because you're focused on channeling a vibe and accepting however that comes through. So when it comes to, I think of it like in style, for an example. When you think of an outfit that you want to wear and like makeup and hair that you want to do, you are wanting to channel this vibe, you're wanting to give that off, and that's what you're focused on. So think of it like that with your looks too. You have this energy that's wanting to come through you. Your soul has its own little unique flair and flavor to it, and that wants to come out and animate through your physical being. So when you open up and just focus all of your awareness on channeling that energy, channeling that spirit, then naturally it just comes out, and you don't get caught up in the ego and analyzing and judging if you think it's right or wrong, if it matches this image of what's pretty or not, or if other people are going to agree with it and think that it's pretty. And I know that's so irritating. If I would be watching this video like 10 years ago when I was really deep in just obsession with beauty, I would have been like, no, I want to physically look pretty. I don't want to know about this inner stuff. Like, no, I really want to know how to be pretty, and I want to stop worrying about being pretty because I want to just have the exact pretty look and then be perfect. So I know that it can be irritating for women who are still caught up in that perspective, and that's okay, you know? But just think of it like this. You can be pretty and do all that it takes to match this image of what pretty is to you. You can go get plastic surgery, you can do your makeup to the T every day, whatever it is that you find is necessary to be pretty. But at what expense? What is it costing you? And at the end of the day, are you really feeling authentic and aligned in yourself? Because most of the time when people do that, if they didn't already have inner peace and just make the decision, like in the case of plastic surgery, if they didn't make the decision to get a nose job, for example, while already having that inner peace, already developing acceptance, and then just choosing, like, hey, you know what? I think that I do want to look like this, or change this about myself. Not that it defines me. Their mindset is different, and they have the inner peace, and they're just wanting to change something on their physical. That can be a fine line to walk. Just side note, I know that's a tricky little thing. I try to defy my urges to even think about doing that, because I just want to stand strong in my embodiment and how I physically come to be. If you're doing all of these things, being driven by fear, programming, conditioning, society's warped standards, negative beliefs, then is it really pretty? Are you really being pretty? Are you really showing up pretty when that's what's going on within? That's where you have to get real with yourself. Just become aware and notice in your tracks. Stop yourself in your tracks. Like, hey, I'm putting out all this effort. I'm really trying so hard. But is this even what I'm wanting? Because really, how can you open up to see yourself as pretty and feel pretty when you're not in that energy? You're so disconnected from it. You're fixated on looks alone, and there's so much more to you than just that. Wanting to self-improve, beauty care, doing your makeup, like caring for your physical self, all of that's cool. But when your whole world revolves around your physical being and how you look, you become dense. Spirit cannot animate you because it has no room next to the obsessing over flaws and the negative thoughts about yourself and the constant maintenance upkeep that you're worried about tending to. All of your awareness is going to matching this idea of pretty that you have. Pretty, I think of pretty as this very like bubbly effervescence. Pretty can't come through when you're worrying. Like this is like this very jagged anxiety. That it can't come through. It doesn't align. If you're approaching your workouts, your self-care routines, beauty care, whatever, with the mentality and belief that you're not pretty and you have to try to be pretty, then you're going to keep feeling not pretty. You'll never get that full feeling of fulfillment that you're craving inside because you're focused on lack. You're seeing your flaws. You're feeling like you're not good enough. You're saying, this is pretty and I'm this, and so I need to try really hard, and oh my gosh, I have to do this and that, and I'm worried about being pretty because like what do other people think about me? Like I want to be pretty. I don't want people thinking that I'm not pretty. Pretty is so important, and so I need to do all that I can do to be pretty. That's where the power of your mind is going. And the thing is that even though the world makes it seem that way, you don't have to worry about it or try to achieve it. If you're valuing only being pretty and your looks, then life is going to seem very one-dimensional. And you are multidimensional, so imagine how much you're suppressing yourself. Broaden your horizons. Focus on your interest. Invest more in discovering who you are. How do you be? How do you want to express? What wants to come alive through you? How do you want to live? Focusing on how you want to do your makeup, how you want to do your hair and style yourself. What makes you feel radiant and pretty? Being pretty is more than just physical features. And I'm speaking to things like, you know, appearance-wise and doing your makeup and all of that. But when I say interests and doing things that you like, obviously that's options are endless when it comes to that. I'm just saying find different things to value. play around with your values. What are your values? And start investing more in living in alignment with those and digging deeper to find more that there is to life. What you're really wanting to feel is the energy of pretty. And that can be found in so many areas of life. It is way beyond just your physical looks. Once you start digging deeper, you'll start tapping into that. And you'll begin to care less about whether people think that you're pretty or not. You'll begin to stop efforting so much to try to reach a certain image, and you'll just start embodying it. You'll just start feeling it. You'll start looking in the mirror and it's going to be reflecting back to you. Even on days that you're not feeling your best and you're feeling like a little, like you can notice flaws, right? You're human, you're going to notice flaws. Hello. But you're not going to be so hard on yourself and judge yourself so much and then feel panicked and like, oh my God, I have to do something about this. I mean, yeah, you can be like, oh, okay, I need to put on a mask or some zit medicine for these pimples, or I need to eat a little bit better so my skin can become more glowy. It's just like, it's going to come through when you just woosah and let it come out. And it sometimes, it takes practice. This, it's like a fuzzy or something on my lip. This has evolved for me over time, and I still have thoughts like, I'm like, oh, I used to look so much prettier, and it's because I'm not putting in as much effort, and oh, I'm noticing this flaw now, or this or that, nitpicking at myself. But then I like check myself and I'm like, okay, remember what your soul really wants. Even when in the past I look back at pictures and I'm like, I looked pretty. Like my idea of pretty, what I think looks pretty, what I recognize in myself as pretty, I was like, poor her, because I was so hard on her. And she was so pretty and sweet, and I put her through so much, or she was put through so much, whatever part of me was coming out at that time. And point of me saying that is, no matter what I did, I tried so hard, but I could never see myself as pretty. And so when you have this worry energy, there may be small moments where you glimpse at yourself, you get a little glimpse of pretty, and you're like, oh, I look pretty, but ultimately you're going to go back to that feeling of not pretty because you're approaching it in the wrong way, coming from fear, worry, caring what others think. You're outsourcing instead of sourcing from within. Interestingly, the etymology, I always forget how to pronounce that, but I say the etymology. The etymology of pretty breaks down to being clever, witty, cunning, kind of like quick. And I translate this all as this bubbly effervescence. It's playful, and it's more than just a delicate, refined, like pleasant thing to look at. It's about being energetic. And bubbly to me, like I literally think of bubbles and it's a very like fast moving energy. Think of like a fairy or a butterfly like flying around and then stopping somewhere, and then just being so invested in what they're doing. That's how I interpret it. Like they're so invested in what they're doing, they're just like okay, I want to go to the next thing, and they're just in that. There's no words to describe this. I can try to think of the words, and there may be some that kind of match it, but just that right there. That is pretty. When you embrace that energy, it comes through your physical being, and people perceive that. They see that. People are taking into account more than just physical features. They're not looking at you in just this one layer. They're seeing everything, your aura and everything together. That's why so many people say that when someone's acting ugly, even if they are the perfect example of, matching beauty standards, they're like, no, she's ugly. This woman can be the exact version of beauty that they have in their head, but as soon as she comes off ugly, they're like, maybe she's not that pretty. Like they'll start seeing her a little bit ugly. That's what happens when your boyfriends start treating you bad. You're like, ooh, he starts looking like an ogre. I mean, you may still think that they match the image of pretty to you, but they get overshadowed with this ugly energy. And that's because their soul effervescent isn't there. Another aspect to the breakdown of the word pretty is being clever. It's kind of like this silly, intelligent, carefree energy that has the ability to come off in a pleasant way, using the mind and your attention to shift energy. And even regardless of what you think about yourself and your physical looks, whether you think you're pretty or not, it kind of makes all of that disappear and the energy just comes out. That's how I relate to the energy of pretty. She's just like, and when you really connect into it, focusing on the things that you like, focusing on your interests, it just moves through you and you just become magnetic. All that's to say though, there are other things, qualities, attributes that draw people in beneath your looks. So why worry about if your physical self is pretty or not? If you keep playing on the surface, you are not going to get deeper into that feeling that you truly crave. And it's not to be pretty. You're not worrying about being pretty. You're wanting to fulfill a feeling of belonging and authenticity, alignment, harmony, joy, happiness. That's what you're really wanting. But your mind and your perspective is telling you that you can't have any of that because of the way that you look. And so that's why you're worried about being pretty, because your life is kind of depending on it. Your life force energy is getting depleted, and it's like, please, you value looks and you think that that's what you need to be enough and worthy and get all of these wonderful feelings that come with this idea of being pretty. So we have to worry about it so we can get you to that point, so we can help you feel whole and fulfilled. Exploring within and playing around, opening up to more of what the world has to offer, and finding other things that you value in life. That's going to make you more abundant and rich in all areas. Why worry about something when you can just be in the energy of doing and being and putting your awareness on the things that you want to grow in and what you like? All the rest is unnecessary. Start trying to look at yourself differently. Get curious with your unique qualities and features. Play around with like how you can embody and own them more, and animate yourself in a way that your soul is calling you to. Like, what wants to come through? You know that feeling when it's like your creativity is coming to life and you're getting ideas and you're having a vision and you're like, I want to express this way. Play around with that. Let that come out. Do what you need to do to let the beliefs and the focus of being pretty dissipate. Calm your mind and just go within and put your energy into letting that out. And it's gonna feel cringy because you're probably going to be like, I gotta like refine, and it's like your inner critic. What's the word? It's trying to like upkeep. It's like trying to be like, oh, it's like watching you. You need to be looking this way, this hypervigilance. You need to be pretty. Make sure that you're looking pretty, but do all that you can to relax that down and let your soul come alive. And then I promise you, the more that you do that, the more pretty you're gonna feel. And it's genuinely going to be yours because it's not based on other people's perspectives, allowing the false idea that you have to look a certain way in order to be worthy and feel joyful. So what do you want to convey through your physical being, your style, your personality, your makeup, your hair, how you dress, how you be? How do you want to be in the world? You can continue having your beauty care routines and have intentions to beautify yourself even, but do it out of genuine love and care for yourself. Do it because you're actually interested in these makeup routines and beauty care, skincare, and all the things that help you look pretty. Do it because you actually like it. Do it because it makes you feel girly and harmonious, and that's it. not because you're trying to achieve pretty and you're worried that you have to upkeep it. Stop overthinking and trying so hard. Let it go. Let the idea go. It's not what you think. It's about how you be. Your being is going to speak to people. And if you're around people who only care about looks, then ew. Like, then they're not fully embodied in themselves, and that's not the best reflection for you. Everyone's where they're at, and that's okay. They may grow, they may not, but I'm focused on just surrounding myself around people that are really focused on the true beauty of life, and you should too. You can keep a tight grip on being pretty and doing all that it takes to get there and still end up unsatisfied. So just try. Don't block the blessing of being you. Give yourself a chance to consider yourself as pretty as you are. Don't inhibit your soul with this fear, and just for once, look at yourself without this preconceived notion or filter. These eyes that are only looking for whatever's not pretty so that you can be pretty. Trust that you can be pretty. Trust that you are pretty. And just tap into the energy of pretty. Let it come out. And my gosh, I went on so many tangents and was a little all over the place and maybe a little bit redundant. So I hope that it resonated. I hope that you really get it. I hope that I just wasn't talking in circles. And I definitely hope that it inspired you. Hope, hope, hope. If this video lit you up, please give it a like and definitely comment. Let me know what spoke to you. Is it speaking to you? This not only helps build community, but also it's going to give me some reflections, and I would definitely love that. Also, I'll leave a link in the comments if you want to join in on any of my group or one-on-one breathworks. They definitely help you embrace your beauty and just evolve into the woman that you feel called to be, desire to be, are meant to be. There's so much to it, so you can go there, read up on all of that. It's so beautiful and powerful, just such a huge part of my heart and my purpose, what I do for work in this world. So I just wanted to share that. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Mwah.